Hey guys!
Hello!
Welcome back to our channel. So in today's video, we are going to be answering a few of your questions. It's been a while that David and I actually had a sit-down video.
And there have been a lot of questions that we hear repeatedly and we never had the time to answer them, so that's what we're going to do today. You make living in Ireland look so cool, but is it really as accommodating as you make it look? Because there are a lot of people, and especially some Nigerians apparently, that say otherwise. Or is it maybe just the area and the jobs you have?
I actually do like living in Ireland. I'll tell you, when I moved here initially, I didn't really feel like it was home because I had moved from England, my sisters were still in England, all of my friends were in England, so I didn't really feel like it was home. Being in a relationship with David and having him visit me occasionally, as well as eventually getting married, having a baby and settling in Ireland, it definitely does feel like home. And I suppose that's why I make it look like it's cool, because I'm happy here since my family is here. The one thing that I would change about Ireland is the weather.
Well, nobody can control that.
Yeah.
No, I think overall, to be honest, no matter whether you're single, married, you know, in a relationship, Ireland is a good place. You know, it is safe. You know, you got everything you need here. There's some good jobs out here as well, and people are very, very nice. So yes, living in Ireland is pretty cool. Depends, of course, where you're in your life and what you're looking for, but yeah, we love it.
Is it weird for David to speak English every day, even though it's not his mother tongue?
Well, to be quite honest with you, it really isn't. Just because I haven't really lived in Germany since I was, I think, 17 or 18. So ever since, you know, sort of English is the main language that I'll be speaking. And as much as you might not always hear that, you would expect maybe better, but to be honest, it is really normal, and you know, yeah, I dream in English, and it actually sometimes can be hard.
David, you dream in German?
Well, you tell me that. I don't believe that, because that's just the dreams I don't know about.
You mutter a few words in German, let me just tell you.
I still don't believe that until she records it and shows me. But anyway, I know I sometimes actually have difficulties when I then speak German again and to come up with the right words and stuff. So no, it's very normal for me by now, and yeah, that's just sort of the language I'm now used to. And speaking of languages, there's one question that we've seen all over our social media channels coming up repeatedly, and this is, dear Adanna, do you also speak Igbo to Kian? Please enlighten us.
Yes, I do speak Igbo to Kian, but I don't speak Igbo to him as much as I speak English.
Right, yeah.
And that's because I'm obviously more used to English than I am to Igbo. So most of you know that the national language in Nigeria is English. So even when I go back home, my parents speak English to us, like we speak English in our house. But the good thing is we all do know how to speak Igbo. So coming here, living in Ireland, normal day-to-day interaction is always in English. So I've gotten used to English. So David and I decided that I will be the primary parent who speaks English and he'll be the primary parent who speaks German. I do believe that there'll be time for Kian to learn Igbo.
Oh yeah.
Especially when he's a bit older, because I didn't even really start speaking Igbo until I was about 9. What are your greatest challenges as an interracial couple, considering that there's still lots of racists out there?
So I personally actually would say that in our specific case, in our life, we were very, very lucky, I think, so far. We haven't really had any you know, really serious challenges. Now, of course, we're aware that, you know, there are lots and lots of couples out there that, you know, are probably facing that, and in a very severe way. Some of you have actually shared some of the stories with us, and some of them are really horrific, and we really feel deeply sorry that this happened to you. But again, we can only speak from our own experience and our own life, and you know, we really haven't come across that either in England, in Germany, or in Ireland. You know, so again, the one thing maybe I could say, the one thing is that is interesting, let's call it. So I wouldn't necessarily put it as a challenge, but one thing that we've noticed is that whenever we meet people, the first and sometimes the only thing everybody asks us about is that fact that we come from two different races or cultures, if you want.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe asking us about, you know, our personal life, our jobs, our views, or whatnot, you know, like any other couple.
Yeah.
But
they're very interested in knowing how we met.
Yes, yes, yes.
And how my family received David and vice versa. But I find that as interesting.
Yeah, true. No,
rather than negative. To further reiterate what David said, we've personally not experienced, like verbally to our faces, any form of racism because we're an interracial couple. But of course, being on social media, you do have the occasional trolls that come on our YouTube or Instagram. You may have seen a couple of those comments.
Right.
How does that affect us?
Not at all.
Not at all. It doesn't affect us. So if there's any interracial couple out there experiencing negativity because of your relationship, we do empathize with you, and my advice would be to make sure that you're very secure in your relationship before going public. Because once you're very secure in your relationship and you're very confident, you two know that you're meant for each other, trust me, there's no form of negativity that's gonna get to you.
What are the things you wish you had known before being a parent?
Do you want to go first?
No, it's your turn. You go.
Okay, well, I'm going to answer specifically to being a mom.
Of course.
What are the things that I wished I knew before being a mother? I wished I knew what impact the whole pregnancy process would have on my body, because then I would have worn more crop tops. You know what? The motherhood for me is a journey. That's something that I realized a few months into having Kian. I changed my mindset. And everything that is happening, everything that has happened so far is a process for me. There's not one thing that I look back on and I say, oh, you know what, I wish that I would have done more of. I wish someone would have told me, because now I'm in shock or I'm stressed or something like that. That's not to say that I don't experience any hard times. Just to go back a bit on the video that I put out last week, I talked about how motherhood was amazing and I really love motherhood and whatnot. And I did see one comment that really stood out. It was a paragraph basically, and someone was basically calling me out saying I need to be honest, I need to talk about the challenges, I need to talk about my social life, I need to talk about things that motherhood has changed in my life. But I'm not gonna sit here and pretend or make up things that I don't feel. Okay? The fact that I'm not able to go out clubbing on a Saturday because I have a baby, that's not a regret for me. I had a good social life before I had a baby, and now I have a baby. Now I have a baby. It's not a challenge. It's not something I wish I knew. It's not something that's negative that I can't go out randomly or spontaneously without planning weeks in advance. It's nothing like that. So
absolutely.
It's a journey for me, and I love it. Do you plan your holidays well in advance? And how do you manage the financial aspect of your life?
Of our life? Well, the trips, the holidays.
That's the question. The trips, the holidays, everything. How do you manage?
Good question. Yeah, a lot of you seem to be very interested in that, by the way. And you've seen that recently in the last 12 months we've been traveling quite a lot. So I think there are a couple of things about this, to be honest. I mean, number one, of course, yes, there's a lot of preparation involved in advance, right? I think I'm a strong believer you know, in obviously planning early.
No, you're just a German.
Well, that comes with it. That is part of being a German, to be honest. So yes, we plan well in advance, which obviously also makes things cheaper, right? Let's be honest. If you book a week before the trip, obviously things are going to be expensive. So we plan well in advance. And obviously, even then, we also take our time to do some research. Like myself, for example, you know, we don't just sort of find the first place and then immediately go there. Like, so, you know, you want to make sure, of course, you do your own research to find out which are the best places, but also, of course, the most affordable places, given your budget that you have. Yeah. I think the next one is, of course, that also, especially bigger trips, we do also, of course, save. I mean, there's no secret. I mean, you do kind of anticipate a summer holiday. You want to have at least one big trip a year with your family or friends, ideally, right? So you save for it. So that's definitely a big part of it as well. And then there are, of course, also some sponsored trips we've done in the past. So, you know, the whole YouTube collaborations and sponsors and everything. So, for example, we went to Dubai with Virgin Atlantic. We went to Scotland with Disney and others. So this is one part as well. But I think ultimately what you have to remember, of course, that both Adanna and myself, we do work full-time. So we both have full-time jobs. You know, we've been in these jobs for a couple of years by now. Yeah. So that is obviously the basis of everything. So we do plan and have two, you know, salaries obviously for our family, which form basically the budget we operate under. Adanna, have you always been so confident in yourself? And what tips do you have to overcome shyness and lack of confidence?
Have I always been confident? Yes, I have. And I have my parents to thank for that. I do believe that they had a huge role in the way that I was raised and the way that I am today. And just to throw out one advice there for any new parents like ourselves, it's very important from the get-go to instill that confidence in your children. This could be by positive reinforcement, giving compliments like you did good, you can do this, you don't need to be scared, we're with you, would support you. These are things that I kept hearing from my parents that kind of made me feel invisible. Like, it made me feel like I could achieve everything. So I definitely believe that my parents did have a great influence in my life and in the fact that I grew up to be a confident woman. Now, that being said, the fact that I'm confident doesn't mean that I'm not shy. Have I been in situations where I find myself shy or uncomfortable? Yes, I have, definitely. And my tip to overcoming that is to consciously be aware of the situation that makes you shy. For example, it could be a social situation where you're invited to something, you don't know anyone, and you literally feel like the sore thumb sticking out. Make yourself aware of that situation and go and speak to somebody. It doesn't matter how that conversation ends, but you would leave that venue thinking, I made an effort to overcome my shyness.
I think one other thing that also in my case, obviously my parents taught me and I've continued to do was to take risks. And what I mean by that is, especially when there's situations you're not so comfortable and you kind of contemplate, like, you know, should I go or should I not go? Because I mean, I wasn't too confident in high school, to be honest, to be quite honest with you. And then things like going abroad, for example, helped a lot with that, which my parents were the ones who initiated. Said, hey, why don't you just do this, right?
Yeah.
And after that, really, I noticed like how much I got out of this one experience that I was pretty afraid of, to be honest, in the first place. Whenever you get a chance, the typical example, people who are afraid of public speaking, right? It's this best example. Start with speaking in front of your best friend. Right? One person. And then you take the next opportunity where if you can, maybe speak in front of the group of your friends or something, you know. And then whenever something presents itself, just go for it. Literally just go for it. Don't be afraid. And then one last half serious advice I once got was, because when you're shy or you lack confidence, you kind of think people are going to laugh about me, right? Or at me, right? That's kind of the feeling. So that's why you're afraid to do something. Just imagine all these people are completely naked. That is literally an advice I've gotten once.
Who'd you get this advice from?
It's a teacher. And it was a teacher who said this. That will immediately make you laugh at them or about them. So maybe, I don't know if that is going to help you, but you know, it could help. Just think everybody else in the room is naked.
How do you both have time with your full-time jobs, YouTube, Kian? How do you find the time and the energy?
Right. This is an interesting one, of course. I think it comes down to a couple of factors. So number one, time management, right? So as a couple, of course, we need to make sure that we know exactly what's going to happen when, shooting, recording, editing, and so forth, right? So it needs to be very clearly structured throughout the week. That's number one, I think. And then secondly, it comes down to what I think Adanna often calls prioritization. Or in my case, I also would call it commitment. Like, how important are each of these factors to you? And the good thing is, for us, we genuinely enjoying doing these videos and everything that comes with it. Of course, there are some parts that sometimes can be a little bit frustrating and whatnot, but overall the whole experience is amazing and we really genuinely enjoy it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it now for 3.5 years.
You've said it all.
I've said it all. There you go. That is very rare, by the way, that I said it all and then I have nothing to say. This is unique.
To add to that.
No. You can't anymore. It's over. Next question. So we've saved a very, very juicy question for the end of this video, because apparently a lot of you out there would really like to know if you, Adanna, number one, have ever had any plastic surgery, or if not, would you ever consider doing a plastic surgery, whether it's for your nose, your boobs, bum, whatever.
Oh, now I have to reveal this.
Oh, tell us.
Okay, first question. I have never had any cosmetic procedures done. would I be open to doing any cosmetic surgical procedure, and what way do I feel about it? I would like to consider myself one of the most open-minded people ever. My motto literally is to each his own, which means if plastic surgery is what you want to do to make you feel better, please do it. I have zero judgment. I'm not gonna look at someone to say, oh, you have no confidence because you decided to have a plastic surgical procedure. No. They wanted to do it, they feel better about themselves, that's fine. Will I consider doing it in the future? That's not something that I've really thought about, to be honest, because there's nothing about myself that I feel like I want to surgically change. So I do know that I do have a couple of mummy bits and bobs left. there are a few things that need to be toned down, and I know that I can achieve that with exercise. So I'm putting in more effort into my exercise and putting in more effort into my diet. If somewhere down the line I decide I want to do surgery, I will do it. I think that answers the question. Am I open to having a cosmetic surgical procedure? Yes, I am.
Okay.
Has it crossed my mind? No, it hasn't.
Well, to answer the question from my end,
wait, nobody asked you though.
No, what do you mean?
It was directed.
You know what? Why can't I answer?
Wait, do you want like?
I can answer. No. I have a few. I have a few areas I might want to. I don't know why it's only where you thought it was only for you. Huh?
There's a movie.
No, it's okay.
One last question before I leave. A lot of you have been asking about my wedding ring for some reason.
Oh, I know.
This is very trivial. A lot of you have noticed that the ring that I wear is not the one that I got engaged with. No, I didn't change my ring because some people were insinuating that I did. I didn't. This is my ring in the box. I admire this baby every night before I go to bed. The reason that I don't wear it every day now is because now that I'm going to work every day, I just think it's too valuable for me to wear at work. So I've decided to put it in the box, and I'm wearing 2 rings. As you guys know, David gave me 3 rings. So I'm wearing 2, and the 3rd one is in the box.
The most valuable one.
The most valuable one.
I don't want to I don't want it to fall into somebody's stomach while you're, operating or something. So
David, drama much. We use gloves for that. Thanks.
I don't know. Like, things happen.
And I'm not doing surgery at the moment.
Things happen. Things happen. So that was some pretty exciting and juicy stuff. I hope we shared with you. And hopefully, of course, this got most of your questions answered. I'm sure there'll be another 10-50 questions as a follow-up. And of course, we'll be keen to hear from you again for our next Q&A video that will certainly come. But for now, I think we want to say thank you for watching.
Thank you. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed.
Absolutely. And like and share this video as usual.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
And see you next week.
Till next week.
Mwah. Kisses are for me, not you. No, I meant I'm the one who blows.
Oh.